Our police in India pushing on with a probe on every angle as they try to pin down what or who could have caused a deadly explosion Monday in New Delhi. Reuters reporting one possible lead, a link to the arrest of 7 men caught with firearms and bomb-making materials in the Kashmir region earlier in the week. Conducted under separate terrorism investigation. The Delhi blast is now under probe by a federal task force that looks specifically into terror attacks. The death toll in the capital climbing to 12. Dozens more also injured. The blast occurred at the Red Fort as a known historical and tourist landmark, prompting raids on hundreds of locations in Indian-administered Kashmir. 500 people were detained, but most were released after questioning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting victims in the hospital, vowing to bring conspirators, that's his words, to justice, promising that no one will be spared. Neha Poonia is covering this story for CNA Live from New Delhi. Neha, that possible lead, possible link to earlier arrests in Indian-administered Kashmir, and if you could clarify for us, detentions as well after the blast, also in Indian-administered Kashmir. Have there been these detentions? And do we know if there's any concrete link between the Delhi blast and the Kashmir arrests?
This has now become a very high-profile, high-stakes investigation, and as such, investigators, officials, ministers in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government aren't divulging too many details on record. They're being very tight-lipped about what they found so far, what they haven't, about any links they've drawn. But the simple answer to that question is we don't yet know. Experts have been speaking to say that what we're possibly seeing is what Home Minister Amit Shah said would happen, that investigating teams are quote-unquote exploring every possible angle. But here's what we do know. Just hours before that blast occurred on Monday evening here in New Delhi, 7 men were arrested in Kashmir. And this happened just hours before that explosion. 2 of those 7 men were doctors. Arms, ammunition, as well as nearly 3,000 kilograms of bomb-making material was found during those arrests. And back then, the police had said that they had busted what was a, quote, interstate transnational terror module. They were talking about a white-collar terror ecosystem whereby, doctors, professionals, as well as students were trying to be radicalized, and that these men were reportedly in touch with, foreign handlers. Now, the question that investigators are now trying to answer, according to that Reuters report, is whether or not there was a connection between the man driving that car that exploded here in New Delhi and the 7 men who were arrested in Kashmir. Investigators trying to ascertain whether the man driving the car here in Delhi was a doctor and whether or not he was a colleague of the 2 doctors arrested in Kashmir.
Looking beyond these arrests and detentions in Kashmir, Neha, as you say, it's a high-profile investigation, so authorities are rightly tight-lipped on it. In fact, the Delhi police spokesperson just this afternoon saying they were still looking at all angles, and that would include a terror attack, an accidental blast, and any kind of failure in the car, so keeping really all options open.
That's right. And, as this is happening, we've also seen, officials step up the security deployment here in Delhi. We've seen very much in the last few days the focus being on trying to gather evidence from that blast site. We're now hearing that forensic teams have found 40 samples that were collected from the site. This includes 2 cartridges, a live ammunition, and reportedly samples of 2 different types of explosives that were found through the day on Wednesday. We've also seen police teams conducting random stop and search operations on cars here in Delhi. They're searching through the cars. It's unclear what they're looking for yet. Some reports, by local media claiming that possibly police teams are looking for a second car, but we don't have a confirmation from the police teams yet. They're very much saying, like you said, that this is an open investigation. All angles are being looked at here. But as this happened, there were also those raids in Kashmir we were talking about. 200 locations were raided, hundreds of people detained and questioned. mentioned. Of course, government officials not drawing a direct link between these two incidents, but this is very much an ongoing investigation, and every possibility is being considered and explored as far as the probe is concerned.
Thanks. Neha Poonia, though, that update, reporting live for CNA from New Delhi.